AMD from the What Up Though show. I just want to I just want to come on here and go live and take this time to give my condolences to the family of Jermaine Smith and Keith Carter. Today I had to attend two funerals today. Today was a bittersweet day for me today, because one of my childhood friends, long time brother to me, had to today was his final day. Um, um, we had to. I saw him be. Today was his day where he went to see his maker. Today we celebrated his life. Um, Jermaine Smith, a longtime friend, like a brother to me. Excuse me for my words. I'm a little choked up, but today has been a bittersweet day for me. Bitter meaning that I had to see two of my one of my childhood friends go to rest today, and then a longtime friend of mine slash cousin funeral was also today. So I just want to give my condolences to the families of Jermaine Smith and Keith Carter. Like I said, today was a bittersweet day for me today. I'm thankful for that the Lord gave me another day to be able to see my friends be put to rest. Um, if you live long enough you'll see a lot of your family and friends pass away. But it was I'll take a you gotta excuse me for my words. The pastor said it at my good friend's Keith Carter funeral today. It's going to be a lot of us that's going to talk and see our friends for the last time, that we've ever spoke with them. So you gotta excuse my words. My words are not coming together right now. I'm a little choked up, but it's a lot of people that we have in our contact list that we'll never be able to speak to ever again in life. So I'm just coming on here, to be able to, talk to you guys that, it's a lot of people that you have in your contact list that you will never ever be able to speak to again. That'll be the last time that you spoke with them. So and that's something that, that touched me today when the pastor said that, it's a lot of people that that's in our contact list that we'll never speak to ever again. We have a lot of friends that we don't talk to, um, since we graduated from high school, grew up. It's a lot of people that we've come in contact with over our lifetime that, that we have in our contacts like family and friends that we'll never be able to speak to ever again. You know what I mean? And like I said, I had to one of my you know one of my childhood friends, which I looked up to him like a big brother, which was one of my brother's best friends. I had to attend his funeral today, and I was at another funeral today, and the pastor was saying some true things today. It's a lot of our friends that we went to high school with. And it's a lot of our friends that our family members that we may have spoke to, that may be the last time that we'll ever speak to them. And we never think about stuff like that, until it resonates, like when we're at a funeral or something like that. It's a lot of family and friends that we don't speak to, that we'll never ever have a chance to speak to ever again. So I'm coming on here I'm saying all this to say that, tell your family and friends while they're here, that you love them, because you never know when your day is going to be called. You know what I mean? So I just want to get my condolences out to Jermaine Smith and his wife, and Keith Carter. You know, uh, we never know, when the Lord is going to call us home. Uh, and I want to apologize for being emotional. I'm an emotional person. I just want to take my time, and just, give my condolences to Jermaine Smith and Keith Carter. We never know, when the Lord is going to call us home. So you have to tell your family and friends every day, the people that you may not speak to every day. You have to tell them, Call them and tell them that you love them, because you may not never get that chance to tell them that you love them again. So, you know, I apologize for being emotional, but I just want to, I just want to come on here and tell you guys that, you never, I heard a scripture today, and it was so true. You never know when your last time that you're going to speak to a family member or a friend. So if it's a friend that you have, or a family member that you had a falling out with, or you had a disagreement with, or you haven't spoke to in a long time, reach out to them, give them a call, tell them that you love them, because you never know, when you might not be here. You know what I mean? So I just want to check in, and say that, I lost a great brother today. Mumford Mustangs forever. Jermaine Smith. He was a great guy, a family man. A good guy. You know what I mean? You never know when your day is going to be called. So live your life to the fullest. Uh, live your life to the fullest. Make sure you tell your family members that you love them, and because we don't get chances, we don't get second chances to tell people we love them. So if it's someone that you want to tell them that you love them, call them and tell them that you love them. Because like I said, it resonated with me when the pastor said that, it's a lot of people that we have in our contacts that we don't speak to every day, that we'll never have that chance to tell them that we love them, or we'll never speak to them again. So I just want to say, while I have the opportunity, I want to tell all my family and friends while I'm here, while I'm able to speak, that I love you. You know, uh, that I love you. And that's it. I just wanted to say that, because, we never know when our day is going to come. But I want to give my condolences again to the family of Jermaine Smith, and to the family of Keith Carter. Those were two great friends that I had, long life friends, and you never know, you know, what our day is going to be called. So tell your family and friends when they hear you love them. It's your boy Dave D, and I'm out.